Guten Tag zum Trailerseite Megazin. Das neue Cars-Abenteuer ist gestochen scharf in 3D und der aufwendigste Pixar-Film aller Zeiten. Unser Filmexperte Markus Fliegel hat den Mann dahinter, den Macher John Lasseter, zum Interview getroffen. Hier ist also der Mann, der schon für den allerersten Pixar-Film, der mit der kleinen Schreibtischlampe, verantwortlich war und der sowohl Toy Story, Findet Nemo, die Monster AG und viele, viele weitere Pixar-Animationsfilme verantwortet hat. Wir haben ihn gefragt, ob denn der Erfolgsdruck vor Cars 2 überhaupt noch auszuhalten war.
Congratulations on another big movie from Pixar.
Thank you.
After a long string of successes, commercially and artistically, do you feel a kind of pressure to stay ahead of the competition?
At Pixar, you know, the pressure we feel really comes from ourselves. We put more pressure on ourselves than anything from the outside world can do to us because, you know, from the first movie to Cars 2 is our 12th movie. Our goal is to make every movie great. And every movie at Pixar is really difficult to do. Every story, because it's all different and they're all original. And, you know, we all work together. We believe in these stories. We believe in what we're doing. And we just keep pushing ourselves. And we're very honest with each other. It's very collaborative. And we tell each other when things are working and when they're not working, and we're very honest with each other because we know that the goal is not power, you know, not who's more important than others. The goal is to make our movies great for the audience. And so we put more pressure on ourselves than anybody on the outside could do.
Now you're not only the director of Cars 2, you were director before, but you're also the head of animation at Disney and Pixar. So basically, you're your own boss. But who do you listen to?
It's a good question. Yeah, I'm what's called the Chief Creative Officer. I oversee everything creative at both Pixar Animation Studios and the Walt Disney Animation Studios, and I even help with the theme park design, which is really fun. And so what we have at both studios is what we call the Creative Brain Trust. It's all of the directors and all the directors and all the key story people kind of come together, and every movie that we're making, we watch every 3 to 4 months. We have an internal screening. We show the story reels, you know, or the early animation or whatever. Each sequence is in a different stage of production. But you sit and watch the whole movie. And then you get together for afterwards and you talk about it. You have a note session. And to me, I set the ground rules. One, there's no mandatory note. Right? You don't have to do my notes. You don't have to do anybody else's notes. Two, it doesn't matter whose idea is the best idea gets used. Right? And so we're all kind of helping each other make the movies the best they could be. We help each director. And so I get that kind of help too. So even though I'm Chief Creative Officer, to me, they let me know when things aren't working. And they're honest with me. And it's difficult, okay? You're an artist. You're putting your best work out there, and to have this healthy, constructive criticism, it is, you know, at times it's like, you know, they don't like it. You know, but then they're right. In the end, you get past that and you go, yeah, they're right. But you all always know that they just want the movie, your movie, to be the best it could be. And so that's who I listen to. My fellow directors, my fellow artists.
Now on Cars 2, there is, on the one hand, technical progress, where you see scenes that you haven't seen in that quality before. On the other hand, you reduced detail on the cars, as I read. No, somebody said that there were, in the first cars, there were 3,000 parameters about a car that you could change. And then they toned it down to 800 because some of them you don't see them, so you don't need to. Maybe I misread that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. Okay. You don't want me to waste time, your precious time, trying to explain that, because that's like so highly technical. Yeah. It's the way that it's not detail that you see. It's all it is controls in which you move a car around, And what they did is they studied after the first movie and found that a whole bunch of them never got used. They were put in, and so when we did the new characters, we just reduced that. So that's, it's all exactly the same, but the level of detail. So I will say that in Cars 2, it's 10 times more complex than any Pixar film you've ever seen. It's unbelievable. All the technical development at Pixar is driven by the needs of the story. Every story we create is like there's something in it that we don't know how to do. In Cars 2, we had this idea for a big spy opening to be very different than the original. And it was set out in the middle of the ocean, someplace you don't expect cars to be, on this big giant oil rig. But we didn't know how to do the surface of the ocean really well. We could do it okay, but it looked kind of computer generated. And so we invented a whole new way to do water. And when you look at it, it's breathtaking. But also, as you travel around the world, when you go to, Tokyo and Paris and the Italian Riviera and London, the level of complexity that you see on the screen. First of all, we get nothing for free in computer animation. Everything you see was created by Pixar artists. Is more than, by a factor of 10, than anything that we've created before. And the story needed that. Right, the spy movie traveling around the world. And we get to one of these cities. Unfortunately, we don't tell the story in just one little street. I mean, Mater at one point gets rockets and he's traveling across a city, and you see kind of the whole city.
But you also have to watch the movie at least twice to take in at least half of the detail that's been put in it.
We love that about. I always say God is in the details, and Pixar's always been that way. We make the films very rich. We know exactly where the audience is looking the first time you watch it. We know how to direct the audience's eye. Because we're telling a story, we want you to be looking at the right place in every single shot to understand the story that we're telling you. We know that. But then outside of that field of view, there's so much fun detail. The more you see it, the more you're going to notice that detail and see. And then we have so many fun gags and things that we put in that you'll start discovering. We put references to other Pixar films in the movie, and you'll find them. There's all sorts of fun stuff. There's something I want to say that there's one object that's been in every single Pixar film. And I'll tell you, it's the Pizza Planet truck. It's in every Pixar film. So in Cars 2, it's a character, of course, being a truck. So it's in the film twice. I'm not going to tell you where.